Hello, Irish Football Fan TV. This is the instant match reaction. Republic of Ireland have beaten Malta 1-0 away from home. It's a win, but my God, that was one of the most boring performances I've ever watched. And not very convincing either. Not a few and far chances, between. Just really, really hard to kind of. We've won the game, but it just doesn't feel like we've won the game. If that makes any sense at all. Um, just kind of a poor display. The lineup I thought was fair enough. Thought O'Dowd was harshly dropped and probably showed that towards the end when he hit the post. But um, like on the pitch, Jamie McGrath is the only one who kind of came out of it looking somewhat bright. But like everybody else, and maybe Nathan Collins, but like and Kelleher done well in like what he had to do. Just the simple saves that he had to make, but overall, like it was just not a very good or very confidence boosting performance. And I hear Stephen Ward saying on Sky like, oh yeah, well we want to get a win and take the confidence into the France game. I was like, what confidence does a game in November bring to you in a game in March when players are in and out of form and everything like that, and a World Cup in between? It doesn't make any odds. What we really need to be focused on now is, the fact Kenny's blooded in all these players. That's fine, and he's been given enough time to do that without probably getting the criticism that other managers would have gotten. But it is time now that we do start winning games, like this Malta game, for example, a bit more convincing. And our play is just so slow. Like you could actually see Kenny on the sideline trying to tell the players to quicken it up, but like there's only two players there for me to try to get the tempo up on the team. And that's Josh Cullen and Nathan Collins. I mean, John Egan is a defender first and foremost, but like Darrow Shea is quite good on the ball. In fairness, when he's playing too, Seamus Coleman is good on the ball, but I just don't think as a right centre back that's his natural position. But anyway, he just gives the ball off to Doherty most of the time when he can, so he just tends to give it simple. But like our possession based play, it's just not quick enough, and the tempo is too slow. And every time we're playing like this and we're slow and we're just passing it side to side from defender to defender, it allows the opposition to then get into their rhythm, or well, not even their rhythm, the shape. And we have no rhythm. Plain and simple, when we get up to the opposition's half, we don't know what we look like. We don't know what we're doing. And that's all well and good. Saying, oh well, the goals. We need to be seeing something more than what we're seeing. Like the tempo has to be faster against a side like Malta. Like it really, really does. And I've sat back and I've let it play out. I've been patient. I've waited to see results change, and it's just like again, I'm saying here we won the game, but we didn't really win it convincing enough. And I think that's what people are gonna hang on. And a lot of people are, that's fair enough. People can be like that, but I'm starting to kind of go that way now, where it's like results have to start mattering soon, because when do we get to a case where we can just keep writing off games like Norway and stuff like that? These are friendly games, I get that, but then when we come to the games in March and if we start off with a disaster, then we're scratching our heads going, right, so what is it? Is it the manager? Is it the players? What is it that's not clicking properly, that we're not beating sides like Malta, Azerbaijan, Armenia? I know we beat Armenia, but you know what I mean. We lost to them as well. But just these games against these lower oppositions, like that game to watch there, I'm sorry, but that was abysmal to watch. It wasn't enjoyable in any way, shape, or form. I found myself on my phone for half. It was that boring, and I nearly fell asleep twice in the first half. It was that boring. So yeah, it's tough to come here and bash players as well, because we won the game and we kept a clean sheet and there wasn't that many mistakes or anything like that. But from a forwards point of view, we're just lacking so much quality. And I suppose our final ball and something like that is just, it's never right. Our set pieces aren't even good anymore. Yeah, like I think when we got the goal, and it was an absolute gift by Malta to Callum Robinson. And in fairness to him, he kept his head, he kept his composure. He couldn't really miss. Once he ran the keeper, you knew it was good night. But then we started to kind of up the tempo a little bit, and we looked like we were starting to kind of do well. And then the tempo just dropped again, and it was just the same as the Norway game. The first half, it was just abysmal. Like the bar was so low in that first half against Norway that they somehow managed to carry that in, because the second half was good. And I appreciate people will say, well, we lost the game, but we probably should have won that game. And again, if we had a bit more quality in attack, we do win that game, but we didn't, and that's the fact of the matter. And then today, I mean, just as I said, if Callum Robinson wasn't gifted that goal, where are we? Like, are we drawing 0-0 to Malta? Like, that's the reality of it. And people say, oh well, they won the other night against Greece and this and that. I'd imagine Greece had the second string team out. Just looking through the comments here. Declan agrees that was abysmal. Declan Connolly, and then Wheelo123 says this possession style of football Kenny is trying with our players is not going to work. I think we're better off with the long ball over the top. And then the Truth Hurt says, is this team anything for the future? Look, I'm not. I said this before. I think that Stephen Kenny won't be the man to leave this, to lead this team into the future. I think whoever comes in after Kenny will be the beneficiary of the players that Kenny's bled in. I do think like players like Nathan Collins, not even a year ago he was like in the squad. It wasn't until March, the Lithuania game really, where he kind of came to light. And then he's brought in players like Bazunu, Kelleher, Darrow O'Shea, Jason Knight, Jason Malum, a lot of 21s. I'm not going to list them all, but you know what I mean. He's bled in a lot of them, and they are going to be more experienced down the line for our other players who are coming through, because there's a lot of good young players coming through as well. But they need to develop at their clubs first before they start playing for Ireland. And I don't think a lot of them are ready for international football. But a lot of our lads that are playing now weren't ready for international football when they were called upon during COVID and stuff like that. But I think it'll stand to them now. And yeah, I know I'm kind of rambling a bit here, but I just don't know if results kind of stay like this, where it's, as Ronan says, they're near enough our first 11 against Malta. And he says they bet that was an experimental Malta team. Well, whether it was or it wasn't, we should have been beating them by more than one goal, and a gift at that. So I don't know. I'm not saying the players aren't playing for Kenny or anything like that. It just looked a bit weird that he was out there telling them to, hurry up and stuff like that. And the play was just so slow, and it just didn't look like anyone wanted to take the game by the scruff and try and win the game properly. I mean, the only person who ever looks really up for the battle, well, there's two or three. Well, there's about four. There's John Egan, Josh Cullen, Nathan Collins, and well, I think that Seamus Coleman probably when he's playing. So these are the ones that really look like they want to try and affect the game and try and impose themselves on the game. But everything else is just bypassing players. Like Alan Brown, I've said it before. I think he's a really good goal scorer, but I don't know what else he brings to the team. He's unlucky not to score tonight. And he's a scorer of good goals as well. He's not a bad player, but I just don't know what he offers the team other than his goals. And if he's purely in there for goals, then I'm okay with that. But maybe he needs to add more to his game to be a more regular midfielder like Josh Collins. He's become that player that's 6 who sits in there and sets the tempo, and also is a battler and a gladiator for this team. And he's just so important to the team, whereas you wouldn't probably say that about Brown. And thought McGrath had a good game. Good to see him back in there, and hopefully he can just push on at club level and then come back to Wigan and maybe push on again, because I think he is a player that could be important for us going forward. He has a lot of qualities that we probably lack in terms of turning teams over and stuff like that and being progressive, whereas other midfielders probably not so much. Like Malumbi is a good centre midfielder, but he's not going to get you up the pitch, score goals, get on set pieces type thing. But what he'll do is he'll be your engine in midfield, and he'll provide you energy, and he'll get you up and down the pitch, or more so up the pitch, by carrying the ball. And you know, and he's all about getting in your face and smashing into challenges and stuff like that, and I love him for that. But so Wheelos came in there. He said Alan Brown was effective against Scotland and Dublin. I think Doherty is very, very overrated by Kenny. I'm starting to feel that way a little bit about Doherty myself. I look, if Alan Brown could come in there at right wing back and do a good job like he did against Scotland, I'd be all for it. I'd have no problem with that. Yeah, I'd have absolutely no problem with that. As I said, I like Alan Brown. I just wish he would impose himself a bit more on games, the way Josh Cullen does, the way John Egan does for us. But look, we need our strikers to start imposing themselves on games. And I know we're sitting here and Callum Robinson scored the goal, but literally we were gifted the goal, and that's just a fact. We were gifted the goal, and if that goal hadn't gone in, are we talking about goals going in? I know Callum O'Dowd hit the post, done well when he came on, showed a bit about him, showed like he wanted to prove to the manager that he should have started. McLean wasn't bad, but he wasn't great either. Yeah, I mean the player ratings, I don't even want to have to do them now because I just can't seem to give anyone over like a 6, to be honest with you. Maybe Robinson is 7 for scoring, so I don't even know if I'll bother doing a player ratings just because what's the point? It's the most average performance I've ever seen against they weren't even good, Malta. The set pieces are an issue going against teams like France. Let's let me pull that down a bit. Declan says the set pieces are an issue going against teams like France. Oh, yeah, they will be because France are an elite level side, and I'd love to fast forward and we're sitting here talking about a 1-0 win over France, but I just don't see it after watching that. Aidan O'Brien says, apart from the odd goal, I think Robinson offers very, very little. He does not seem to do much as a striker, muscled off the ball too easily when he drops deep. His passing spur. I actually think Robinson is good in parts. Like, what I mean by that is he looked lively against Norway. He looked like the only one who was going to try and create a chance and stuff like that. But then, yeah, like he's an enigma, isn't he? You just don't know what you're going to get from him every time he plays for us. This time last year, he was our important player. He was scoring the goals, and looked like he turned a corner. Went backwards a little bit. He's going to move to Cardiff now. And then you've got players like Obafemi who's came in. Don't know why he wasn't playing tonight. Parrott came in. To be honest with you, I'd love to see Adam Ida back in the team once he gets fit and stops getting injured. Hopefully he can shake off the injuries and get back to a decent level again, because I feel like he was actually coming to a really good place and then got injured. Aaron Connolly remains to be seen if he can get his career back on track, I suppose. And yeah, you're just kind of looking at all the options. They're not screaming goals, you know. Michael Obafemi, everyone thought he was going to be the new superstar, and he's had a bad game against Norway, and then he's, well, not bombed out, but he's just out of the team. So yeah, look, I'm not going to ramble on anymore because I'm just going to end up talking crap. Let's just see. Relo says Robinson gets too many chances by Kenny. I know he scored and all, but you could have given that chance to anyone and they would have scored. I would have liked to seen Evan Ferguson score. Also, shout out to Mark Sykes for getting his debut. Hope he starts to do well. So yeah, anyway, that's been my match reaction. Just really, really bemused as to how we only bet them 1-0, but there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe. I'm jumping off, I'm not even doing player ratings, I'm giving everyone 6 and under except for Robinson, who I'm going to give a 7. Yeah, I'll speak to you soon.